So I asked this question and I start the show with this every single time. If you could sum your career up so far in one word, what would you describe it as?
Well, that's a straightforward question. I was expecting intros and all sorts. Then, like, hello, welcome. Oh, right. You saying 3 words?
One word.
Oh, one word. That's well difficult, you know.
This is the first question.
I know. Decent,
Decent. I like that. Do you know
decent. We'll
what?
go with decent.
I like that. Now, one thing I like to do with this, mate, is we just go straight in. Do you know what I mean? We just straight in with the questions and stuff like that. And I didn't mean to stump you then.
I know I was expecting to be like, oh, welcome to the show is the Playboy Prince Professional Wrestling Lance Revera, infamous heavyweight champion and all that. Well, you just went, yeah, first question. How do you describe your career? One word, go, go. Ah, ah.
Lance, it's
Um,
great to have you on the show, but how you doing, mate? You all right?
oh, yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm all right. I've just got through the door and come straight on here with you.
Yeah, no, is that safe journey home? Because I know you said you might be running a little bit late.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was just traffic and getting stuck and that. Nothing too major. Just obstacles. Felt like Mario Kart's got to get through.
I hope you don't chuck stuff out window though.
Well, like turtle shells and that. They're just like I've got loads of them. Just launching and mushrooms as well.
Oh dear. Good week so far though, overall.
Yeah, it's been all right. Getting by, living life,
Living life. Straight to the point. Do you know what I
living
like
life.
that? You're straight to the point. Do you know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah, I know. Like, well, I'm not gonna make it all fancy. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty decent. Like, it's been going all right. It's all right, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Lance, I see there's a special title behind. Do you want to tell us about that?
The infamous heavyweight championship, my most
Yeah.
recent title I've won. I've recently beat Isaac North for it. And next week, actually, the next infamous show, I'm turning up. My first appearance with the title, except for here right now, live. Do you know what I mean? Like, other than that, it's my first proper appearance as champion next week,
There you go.
next Friday.
And what was it
With,
like beating somebody like Lance? I mean Isaac, because he's pretty a big guy.
I was going to say, beating myself. That's an interesting question. Um, Good to know we're not PG on here. Do you know what I mean? Beating someone like Isaac North, just another day. Do you know what I mean? Another day in Lance Rivera's life. Like
There you
everyone goes, "Oh, Isaac North, big scary dude." Yeah, he is a big scary dude, but I'm Lance Rivera, Playboy Prince Professional Wrestling. I'm not fucking scared.
I'm gonna have an absolute blast with this one. I'm 3 minutes in and already I'm smiling, dude.
I was gonna say, I'm good job I was told I can swear before I came on here because I just did that off the cuff. I was just like, fuck him." Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what though? He is great talent. He's a very talented fella. He's hardworking. Do you know what I mean? Big scary fella. Commits to being a big scary fella. And yeah, but he had my belt. I wanted my belt. Fuck him.
There you go. But do you know what? I think you're gonna like today's show because it's more about obviously you, man. Do you know what I mean? So I want to start at the beginning, dude. How did it all begin for you into wrestling?
Where did it begin? Like right at the beginning. We're
Yep.
talking about 3 or 4 years old, maybe. No, I'd been younger than that. Must have been because I remember watching SmackDown with the oval screen, and I was born in '99, and I remember the oval screen. So God, when did Rhino put Jericho through? About 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I must have been about. That's like my earliest memory. I must be like 1, 2. I remember seeing it on telly. My brother used to watch wrestling all the time, and then as I got older, I started watching. My sister watched it, and then I got it here to hand actually. This is quite handy for those at home, visual aids who are watching.
Wow.
My first VHS used to watch it all the time, and it's not like him going to the barbers and getting his hair cut and that, on the and showing you shopping for his shirts, and I was like, that's the man. I was like, he's what I want to be. And then my sister asked me, I was about, it's been about 3, brushing my teeth, and she went, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I went, The Rock. And it turns out, actually, I became something better than The Rock. I became Lance Rivera, but here we are.
Exactly. So, from when did you start training?
I started training at just after I'd finished my GCSE, so I was about 16, just not long turned 16. And my first training session must have been just after I finished, just before I went to college. Because when I got to college in the summer, everyone was asking me about it, and I was like, "Yeah, man, they're cool, and that I'm a wrestler." Even though I'd been training for like what a month, I was like, "Yeah, look at me, I do wrestling. They're cool." And then what actually happened was some people were like that's they're cool, and like a lot of teachers were onto it, like, "Oh, that's cool," and that, and then other lads who wanted to pretend like they didn't watch wrestling, but actually they were going home and watching wrestling, and it's be like, "Oh, that's stupid. That why do you want to do that?" And I'd be like, "Cool in it." I remember one time, must have been about a year and a bit in, 2 years. This lad comes and sits next to me at college, right? And he goes, "You do that wrestling, don't you?" And I went, "Yeah, mate. Yeah, I do. Who are you?" He's like, "You're that wrestler and that. I've heard about you." I said, "Right, okay, that's cool. Glad you have. Word's getting about. Do you know what I mean? Popularity. Um, is it fake, mate?" I said, "Well, no, not really, mate. No, it hurts. Got a bad back and that." And he was like, "Nah, but it is fake though, innit?" So I'm at this point, I'm already like tuned out of this conversation, and he just keeps going. "It's fake though, innit? It's fake though." It's proper MC Devil kind of vibes. And I was going, "I don't know, mate," because I said like, "Look, you must know. If you're telling me, you know, then don't you?" So he stops talking altogether, and he goes silent, and we sat there, and we had this little telly like where we could play FIFA and that at college in like the like a break room, and I'm just watching my mates play FIFA, and I'm just sat there, and he's like staring at me, and he's all like you know when people can't stop moving,
Hmm.
and they're a bit like on edge, and you're like, "What the fuck's he doing over there?" And he goes, "Yeah, but is it fake though, mate? Because I feel like you're lying to me now. Is it fake?" I said, "Mate, I told you, but you know more than I do, so you tell me." "Oh, I don't know. You're messing with my head." And I was like, "Well, you figure it out, mate. You let me know." I just got off. I was like, "I'm slaving this one. I'm done here." Never even found out what the score was when my mates playing FIFA. Never even found out who won.
Did he actually ask you about wrestling after that?
No, I never saw him again.
All
That
right.
was the maddest part of that story. Never saw him again. Went to college. The rest of the year, never saw him once. Don't even know what happened to him. He could be watching this now. He could be watching this right now, heard that story and gone, "Oh my God, that was me."
Do you think he's still wondering if it's fake or not?
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon I left him there and he never moved. Because he was towards the end of college and I thought, maybe he's still there. Maybe he's just an ornament though. Maybe I blew his head off like that much.
And what did you, obviously what was that first training session for you like?
I've just realised I went on a proper tangent there, didn't I?
Yeah.
First trader session, it was class, you know. I really enjoyed it. I remember it quite vividly because I ended up training at school in Runcorn that's no longer around anymore. But previous to that, I was at a school in Manchester. I only did what I did. It's called Future Shock. It's dead now, obviously. It's where I've ended up training um after COVID and everything. I did my first ever training session in at Future Shock. I remember just being in the ring and being like, "Pretty sick. This is cool." I was like, I can get behind this. And then 10 years later, here I am. Never really stopped.
Absolutely. Now I'm looking obviously at your cage match, and one promotion obviously I've seen you've done a lot of work for is Wrestle Island. How did that begin?
Well, that is an interesting story, actually. So I was trying to get onto Wrestle Island for ages at the time because, like I said, I was training in Runcorn and Wrestle Island's based. on the Wirral, Birkenhead. So I was knocking on the door, going like, "Who do you need? Do you need a guy? Do you need anyone? I'm quite decent, me. What we saying?" Wasn't much luck. So I was going down, and there was a match on the show on one show, and I can't remember the name of that show at the time, the Wrestle Island show. But I ended up being in a group. We were all wearing masks and stuff, and I had to look creepy and things. So I did that, and that was my foot in. And then I was back for the next show to do the same kind of role. And there was a guy who was late to the show. Basically, he was running late, and he was meant to be on first, and it was me in the end. So I ended up being like, "Look, I'm here. I'll do it. I'll do it." So it was me, Alexis Falcon, and a guy who no longer wrestles, but he was dead good. His name was Rabid Riley. Um, and we ended up having going on first, and I ended up getting put in that spot about, I want to say about 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes before the show started. And it was, the show starts, I think it was Mad Dog Mark Angus, he was doing the ring announcing that day. It was the show starts, he goes out, does warms up the crowd a bit, match goes ahead. And I was like, right, okay. So I got the whole match down, we ended up going through it, um, getting myself together, got the match together, as in like putting me in, being last minute replacement. And as I'm about to go out through the curtain and take this lad's place, the lad comes bursting through the door and he's like, I'm here, I'm here. And I was like, sorry, mate. All right. I went out.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And
It's a
you
bit
are,
of
I
a,
mean,
I was going to say, it's a bit of a mad story how it all started.
that's brilliant and stuff like that. And I think now you're actually are a regular on wrestling. I think I've seen you quite a few times on most of their shows.
Well, I am the youngest Wrestle Island heavyweight champion ever, and I'm a no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm the first and only three-time Wrestle Island heavyweight champion.
And what's that like for you personally?
Decent, being the one and only three-time Wrestle Island heavyweight champion. Eventually, the plan is to be four. I'm up there for the one of the longest reigns, but I am the youngest ever, and no one's having that off me. I'm making sure I don't let any of those youngins get it till they pass my age. How old was I? I was like 22, I think. Yeah, I was 22. 20, 22, 23. Either way, either which way, I was the youngest.
There you go.
No
So you
one's
got
no one's having it. Molding all those young kids off till they're 24.
absolutely. So I want to talk obviously about Infamous as well. How did that begin there?
Well, it came about after COVID. So uh, DJ King, the infamous DJ King, approached me and was like, "Look, we're starting a promotion in Runcorn. We want you to be involved because obviously I used to, like I say, I used to train there for the before COVID. And he wanted to fill the gap that was left behind, and yeah, was like, I've got a spot for you. We want you to main event the first show. Want you to be our first ever main event, basically with Dylan Roberts. We want you to go at it." And yeah, never looked back really. It was about a year in the making because of COVID. Kept pushing it back, but then we got there in the end. And yeah, main evented the first ever show in Runcorn for Infamous Wrestling, and been going on ever since. And yeah, finally got my hands on that. Took me long enough.
There you go. And when you look back with some of everything you've done in your career so far, what's some of your own personal highlights?
Well, one of them definitely has to be wrestling for Future Shock, the convention centre at the Break the Internet with oh, what's the name now? The wrestling convention. It's just slipped my mind. For the love of wrestling, that was it. For the love of
Mhm.
wrestling, it was me, Joey Hayes. It was me, Joey Hayes, Oh no. He was the other guy on our team. Me, Joey Hayes. This is terrible. It's just slipped my mind. The whole thing's just gone out of my head. It was me, Joey. Oh, this is terrible. It was the models basically. It was the models and Oscar Byron. That was it. Oscar Byron. Um, yeah. So me, Joey Hayes, Danny Hope, Oscar Byron against Tony Wright, Meat Wagon, and Santino Morella. And that was a bit of a war that's going on here. Um, I was. This is a bit of a mad story. I was taking a nap. I was asleep. I woke up to a lot of messages going, "Why didn't you tell me? Why have you never told me? What's going on?" I'm like, "You what?" And it was Benjamin Ireland out of Act Two messaged me. He was going, "Can't believe you never told anyone." I said, "I messaged him. I'm going to tell anyone about what? What have I done?" And he said, are you being serious?" I said, I haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about, mate." Gone on Facebook and I've just seen the graphic. No one ever told me. Nobody ever said a word. And I was like, "This is mad." I used to watch him on TV. I remember Santino Morella's debut, and I was like, "Oh, now I've got wrestling." And he was, I was like, "Gonna kick his head in." Basically, here we are, number one, and that Lance Revera going to beat Santino Morella. Obviously, didn't work out like that, but it's still a bit of a mad one. Another one was defending the PW heavyweight title in Stratford against Doug Williams, and that was crazy. Beating Doug Williams to defending my title against him, that was a bit mad because again, you watch him on telly and you're like, now I've got to beat you. I've seen you beat people on TV, mate, and now I've got to beat you. Like what? Like it's going down like playing football on a Saturday with your mates and going, all right, so now we've got to beat Man United, and you're going, all right then, well, guess I'm doing it, and then you do it, and you're like, class. So probably how Grimsby felt, but I'm better than Grimsby, so Grimsby's a dump. And I'm
Yeah, I
Lance
mean,
Rivera, like I'm pretty top.
yeah, I didn't want to talk about the football thing because I mean that's a whole debate in itself.
Oh, go on then. Who do you support? Go on.
I support Barnsley because obviously I'm from Barnsley.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No.
but yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Though, I mean, the thing is with Manu. I mean, like I said, that's a whole debate in itself. I mean, I don't want to upset you or anything.
But, well, yeah. No. Let's not cut this interview. It's live, man. It's live. It could go west pretty quickly if you get me annoyed about United. We'll end up being on here for 4 hours long. Me talking about really nerdy tactical stuff and going into like fucking passes completed and XG, and you'll be bored to fucking tears.
Wrestle Wellbeing's put a question in and he says, "How has the demanding nature of professional wrestling impacted your mental health?"
Whoa, what a deep question. Um, oh, do you know what? It can affect you a bit because you're a bit like, is this right? Is this enough? Am I doing enough? Am I doing the right things? Am I not? Am I doing the wrong things? Is this right? Is this good? Am I out there enough? If I'm out there too much? Am I on too many shows? Am I on the right shows? Am I wearing the right tights? Am I going to look good for this photo? Have I put enough tan on today, or am I looking really pasty? And you're a bit like, bit ends up being a bit much, and you're a bit like, Jesus, right? Just slow it down, and then you're thinking about the future and where you want to be, and things like that, and it can just it's a bit mad, really. Like it's a bit of a deep question, but you can. It just depends on the type of person you are, really, and how much you overthink things and how much you can handle it.
I think that's fair. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's obviously got their own answers to that and stuff like that. But no, man, I mean, like I said, Wrestle Wellbeing is obviously one of those podcasts. If you want to speak about your mental health, hit him up. Do you know what I mean? He's a good friend of mine and stuff like that. And he gives you the platform, John. So basically, open up.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool, man. And it's good that there's someone out there doing stuff like that because it is a thing that people should be talking about. Because especially like that, like you definitely get people on here who just be like, not asked. I'm sound, I'm sick. But you'll get people who'll be like, fucking hell, have I got some tales to tell you? Like, or someone like me who's a bit like, it's all right. It can be a bit hard, but I don't know. It's once you've been doing it for so long, I think as well. I say doing it for so long, sound like I've been in it 50 years, but 10 years is a decent amount of time. Like, I think you kind of just get used to it after a while, which is a bit of a weird thing to say, but you just kind of accept it for what it is.
I think that's fair. Yeah, absolutely, and stuff like that. So, for people listening, talk about the Playboy Prince. How did this all come about for you?
Um, well, it's me, innit? I'll go back to the 14th of May, 99. I was born, and I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, sick. And then as I got a bit older, I was like, I'm number one, me. And everyone was like, what? And that was like my first words. I was like, number one. But the real beginning, um, basically, and all in all, I used to be part of a group back in Runcorn back in the day called the Fox Pack, and I was at training one day. Um, the guy who led the group is called Matt Fox. He was like, it was a bit weird, really. It was like he was doing like old school commentary and like training, and he just kept blating out nicknames at me, and then he called me the Playboy Prince, and I went, that sums me up pretty well. I love that. And then over the years, I added more and more and more to it. So I ended up with show stealer, crowd pleaser, main feature, number one, the Playboy Prince, professional wrestling, and your girlfriend's favorite wrestler, Lance Rivera. The first bit, though, I have to say, Elliot on Twitter, the graphics man,
Mm-hmm.
um, me and him had a long conversation because we were doing it for a T-shirt, and I wanted something like in the model of Ric Flair, the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. And I was like, I need something like that. Like it's something that will roll off your tongue. You're not going to forget it. It's cool. It's out there. It sums me up. And we ended up sitting there for ages, messaging back and forth. And he ended up being he came up with main feature because I had show stealer, crowd pleaser, and I bumped with the last one, and he went main feature, and I was like, cinema.
It's brilliant, though, isn't it? That it just fits so well.
It just flows, doesn't it? It's a crowd show show stealer, crowd pleaser, main feature, number one, the Playboy Prince, professional wrestling, and your girlfriend's favorite wrestler, the infamous heavyweight champion, Lance Rivera.
And just think, Mike's got to say that all the time.
Hey, it used to be worse. It was show stealer, crowd pleaser, main feature, number one, the Playboy Prince, professional wrestling, your girlfriend's favorite wrestler, Wrestle Island heavyweight champion, the PEW heavyweight champion, and the king of the kingdom of wrestling, Lance Rivera.
Wow.
I know. That's what I mean. I'm the dog bollocks. You know what I mean? Fucking cool, man.
So, I mean, looking at your character, mate, I'm going to say it's natural heel for you. Is that fair?
I don't know. I don't know if it's fair, like, because over the years we've gone back and forth, really. Because I've just ended up being like, was yeah. In the beginning, I was a heel, but over the years, it just seems to be the fact that people just it's a love to hate you kind of thing, which then develops into actually we're just going to cheer you now.
But if you had to
Like
pick, if you had to pick, though, do you prefer heel or face?
I don't mind. I say this to everyone. I don't mind, and I think that's to me. I think that's a good thing. That I could just do whatever. I'm cool with whatever. If you want to cheer me, you can cheer me. If you want to boo me, you can boo me. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change for you. I'm not going to change for anyone. I'm I'm kind of like that lovable dickhead mate that you have down the pub. He's like, he's a knobhead, but he's our knobhead.
And nobody you love to hate.
Exactly. But you know what I mean? If you want to cheer me and think I'm cool and that, then that's fine. But then if you boo me, I'll boo you back.
Have you found yourself arguing with fans?
No, not well. Yeah, I was gonna say not really, but yeah, yeah. No, I have. Of course, they have. People have got really upset with me before, and I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. And they're just fuming, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, you fuming, good. Here's a bit more. Go on, be a bit more angry. Just
Yeah,
chucking wood on the fire.
stirring the pot a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, where's the fun in not stirring the pot? I'm not going to leave the pot to simmer. It'll fucking boil over, won't it?
Absolutely. That kind of leads me on to my next question: is how would you describe the wrestling fan base?
Um, but no, it all depends on where you go and what shows you're on and what crowd you're looking at. Because crowds can differ, but as a whole, just they've let me perform for them for years, and they've wanted me back, and shows have wanted me. So I can't ever say anything nasty, can you? Because they've given me the chance to perform and live something that I wanted to do since was little. So without wrestling fans, obviously, as the old saying goes, without fans, there's no wrestling, is there? If people weren't paying to come through that door, we'd all just be a bunch of weirdos in lycra wrestling for no one.
Basically, COVID.
Yeah, but even then with COVID, people were watching, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
If people weren't bothered and they weren't coming and they weren't like wanting to see him and buy your t-shirts and supporting the promotions and everything, there'd be nothing to do.
Just be sat down in the pub with your mates.
Exactly. I do that anyway, but we're doing it even more.
Many injuries?
Broke my leg.
Oh,
Double break in my ankle and separated it at the joint. That was years ago. I was trying to do a Phoenix splash, and I went over. I landed, and as I landed, I felt this pop, and it was really weird because it was like I could hear it, but no one else could. It was like yeah, it's really weird to describe. You know, like if you like crack your neck or something, you go to someone, "Oh, did you hear that?"
mm-hmm.
And everyone goes, "Oh, no, what you on about? I didn't hear anything." It was like that, but it was like really far away because I don't know. It sounded like it was in the distance, and I felt it, and I got up and I just went, "I've broke my ankle." Yeah, everyone in the room was clapping like, "Oh, well done, that was amazing." And I just stood up, and as everyone was clapping, I just looked at everyone. I was in the middle of the ring, and I went, "I broke my leg. Oh, I think I've broke my ankle." And everyone went, because he went, "What?" And I went, "I think I broke my ankle." And I was stood up though. I was like stood up, just putting most of my weight through my right leg. But it looked like I was stood normally, and I was just like, "Yeah, I think I've broke my ankle." So I got out the ring, and everyone's like, "You've not broke your ankle because if you..." One lad went, "You broke your ankle, you broke your leg, you'd be on the floor now crying. You'd be crying on the floor." And I went, "Oh, right, okay. Well, guess I haven't then," because everyone was just like, "No," because I wasn't bothered, and I was like, "It hurts, really hurts," but I'm on with it. I even walked on it at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the pub, sat in the pub after training, and some people there were going, "Do you need to go to A&E?" And I was going, "No, I'll be fine. Everyone thinks I've just twisted it. It'll be all right." As it was getting sorer, and I was just like, "Mm." So then my mate gave me a lift to the train station, and the train station in Runcorn, there's two points you can get dropped off. There's one where it goes all the way upstairs, and there's one that just goes straight into the train station. Well, my mate had given me a lift and dropped me off by the stairs. So I've gone, right. So I've had to walk all these stairs, about 30, 40 stairs, get to the top, get to my train. And little did I know at the time, I was about 19, Aintree was on. So all the races were coming home. Everyone who'd
Mm-hmm.
been to the races. So the train was packed. So then I'm going, this is getting really painful. I've then had to get on this packed train and stand all the way back home. on the train. I've got off the train and I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? Next day I went to A&E and I had it X-ray and found out that yeah, broken two places. If it was a few inches high, I would have had to have a plate in my leg. But I'm lucky enough I didn't. But other than that, nothing too serious. Just that.
How long did that take to heal?
um, I came back a little bit earlier than I should have. Really, it was about 6, 7 weeks.
Wow,
So
that is quite. Yeah, normally it takes longer than that.
I think it was that, or it might have been 8. Wasn't that wasn't that long. You'd have thought. I often think this. Like I can't put my finger on it, but I was like, seems quicker than it should have been. But yeah, I've never really had any issues other than that. It gets yeah, click
How long did it?
sometimes, but
How long did it keep you out of the ring for?
about that time, it was just like that's what I mean. I came back a bit sooner than I probably should have. It must have been about yeah, about 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks. It wasn't that long. It's remember we had a seminar at the time with Dr. Tom Pritchard, and I did that, and that was the first time I'd wrestled, and I taped my ankle up, and it was all right. And then I went back to not training for a few weeks after that, and then I had my first match back, and I was like, okay, yeah, I
Fucking hard.
think I missed. Yeah, it wasn't that long because I thought when I did it, I thought I'm gonna be not wrestling for a long time here. So I think yeah, it's about 3 months I missed.
Fucking hardcore there, mate.
I think it was that anyway. Like if I'd have to go back and make sure, but I don't think it was much longer than that. I had it put in a cast 4 times. I had a temporary cast and then 3 proper casts because they teased me at one point after having my second cast. Said, "Oh yeah, that looks looking great," and I was like, "Does that mean I can take it off now?" And they're like, "No." And then I finally got it off, and then they said, "You've got to walk around with a boot on," but it wasn't like a proper leg boot. It was like one of those little shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, I may as well just walk on it." But it got to the end where I was in my cast, and I was kind of just trying to walk on it anyway, and then yeah, just took it off, and then that was it. There'll be probably someone listening to this saying I'm full of shit. Uh, I mean, I definitely did not rehab it or do anything properly than I should have. There's probably a lot of steps, and someone's out there going, "Oh my god, what an idiot!" I remember stepping off the curb the first time I went out. Shopping, and it was the first time I walked on it properly. And I stepped off the curb, and I thought I'd broke my ankle again because it let out a massive crack, and
Oh.
it must have just been like when you crack your knuckles because I hadn't moved for 8 weeks or whatever it was, and it cracked. And I was with my sister, and she like gasped, and she was like, "Oh my god." We thought I was gonna have to go back to hospital because I thought I'd broken it again. But yeah, it was a big relief when it went after it.
Absolutely. What would you say is the most rewarding thing being a wrestler?
Um, a lot of fan interactions are good when you think about it because you get it's when the kids come up to you and they're like, "Oh my god, can I have a picture? Can I have a picture?" And you're like, you end up thinking, "Oh, maybe little Timmy, who's come and watched this show, one day maybe he'll do the same as I've done, and then he'll become a wrestler." And you end up passing it down the line, and you think, maybe on some regards, someone will take something away from this. But it's usually stuff like that, and I think when you like realize what you're doing and you're able to live that dream that you wanted to do when you were younger, and you think, oh, do you know what? Which when you sit and reflect, and you go, do you know what? You've done all right here. You've done pretty well.
Did you ever have to like pinch yourself like how far you've come?
Yeah, it's hard to appreciate it until you actually sit and go, oh yeah, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, and you go, well, and then you think about where you started from, and you going, huh. I mean, for me, it's usually when I see like really old pictures because like I've got mates who used to wrestle with me, like my old tag partner Jack Sinclair. Me and him were like tag team champions, everything. Um, and then he backed up and stopped during COVID. He said, "Do you know what? I like being able to move in the morning without having back pain and hip pain and knee pain and whatever." And he was like, "Yeah, no, I think I'm done." And then I like still I see him all the time. We go to the football together and everything. But we look back through like old stuff that we've done. Like me and him went to Fulham away the second game of the season, and we were on our football coach and we sat on it and we watched his last match, and he was like, "Oh, I'm really proud of this," and I was there going, "Yeah, but what if we did this, and we should have been on top of this. We should have won X, Y, and Z," and he was like, "Yeah, no, it's all right though," and because he's happy with it, and then you kind of got to be like. Yeah, yeah. No, it's all right. It's you've come a long way.
Absolutely, I love that. So before you obviously go out and perform, man, how do you get yourself like psyched up or into the zone?
Um, I'm not a big like psyching myself up kind of guy. I just be. Um, do some push ups, do some stretching, get myself just think about what I've got to do. I like doing a little bounce. Like you see The Rock on like the 2K games. He does the jump up and down. I kind of do that sometimes if I really need to focus. It's just so I just ignore everyone. Um, no, I just grab a bottle of water and I'm like, right, cool, going.
Well, this next
I've
question is
never.
going to be.
Sorry,
I says this next question is going to be interesting because it's kind of the opposite. How do you wind down?
I don't. just just come back through and I go right, okay. Sit down, have a look at my phone, and go right, cool. Evaluate what's happened. But then like, so I'm assuming he means like well after the show, like when you're going home and um. I don't know. To be fair, it all depends on the day. Depends on what I'm doing. Depends on what time the show finishes. But we're saying if it's a nighttime show. When it's just, you know what it is? It's just traveling home afterwards. So like, you just end up sitting in the car and just being like, right, okay, cool. Neither am half asleep because I'm like, right, I've just done the business, puddling all my belts and that. Um, like I've come back from Stratford after PEW, just to wind down. I've ended up listening to Taylor Swift, which is a bit of a mad shout. Because I'm like, you won't think that from me.
No,
Big Oasis kind of guy over here. But no, I've sometimes listen to Taylor Swift after shows and been like, cool. Either that or I go for a pint and be like, right, I'm gonna have a pint, have a Guinness and chill out. And yeah, go to bed. Usually, that's the kind of vibe. Watch the telly and go to bed.
fair enough, fair enough. So I sent you these fan questions, so we're going to knock these out of the park. First one comes from Simon Gibb, obviously regulars to the show. It's kind of a two-part question. So the first part is go-to cheat meal.
Um, like a Burger King. No, I do like Burger King, but it'll be pizza. Pizza's the one I think. And I've got a bit of a controversial one here. I think my favourite pizza is Pizza Hut. But it's got to be the pizza with the pulley things on the ends, the garlic, cheese, dairy things that you pull off. I
Stuffed
don't know what they
crust.
are. Yeah, it's not the stuffed crust though, but it is stuffed crust. But they're like dough balls kind of
Mm,
style.
yeah.
The tear one, it's got to be that. Otherwise, it's pointless. I had a Papa John's the other day for the first time in ever.
I've
That
never had
was that
one.
was all right. No, I had it once, but it wasn't even mine. I just tried it. It was my sister's way back. I was like 14. I thought that's all right. And then I ended up getting one the other day, and I was like, it's all right. This, but one of
Would
the
you
best pizzas. I was gonna say, go on. You go on. You were first.
I said, would you recommend it to people?
Papa John's.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not, it's on the of the top three. If you're talking like football, the big six. You're talking your big three, your Domino's, your Pizza Hut, Papa John. It's third. If you got the other two, I'd go for them. But it's all right. It's a decent alternative.
As what were you going to say? Sorry.
I was gonna say one of the best pizzas I have ever had though came when um SovPro held a football game once, wrestlers versus rappers,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously we won because I was there. Do you know what I mean? Put my presence around the pitch. Didn't let anyone Didn't let anyone get away with that. I was winning that day. We won anyway. Ended up going out for a bit. We ended up having pizza. I ended up having a Donna meat pizza, and no one wanted it. No one was going to touch it. And I was like, 'cause usually you wouldn't have Donna meat unless you were drunk. Do you know what I mean? No one was drinking. It was just a case of, yeah, here's some food, and no one going it. And I actually went, do you know what? I'll do it. I'll be the guy who tries it. And mate, it was class. I think about it nearly at least once a week ever since, and I've been like, when do I get one? When do I get one? Because it just doesn't feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like something you get sober. Do you know what I mean? Someone did, and that's how I ended up having it. But typically, it wouldn't be something I'd be like, yeah, let's eat doner meat, because I feel like you've got to be drinking to have doner meat. But I don't know. Maybe you'll say something different.
Actually, it's one of my favorite pizzas, Dynamite Pizza.
There we go. It's well good, isn't it?
It's mint, honestly.
There we go. At least I'm not the only one who thought it.
No, absolutely. And second part of Simon Gibbs' question was favorite pastime when not wrestling.
Well, if anyone follows me on Instagram or follows me anywhere, it's going to watch United, isn't it? I mean, it's an unfortunate pastime to have, but if it is what it is, isn't it? But no, that's what I do when I'm not wrestling. I'm going to watch the football. And anyone who follows me at Lance_Revera, you find out all the updates on Lance Rivera and all the shows he's on from there on Twitter, or X if you're down with the kids, and Instagram. You'll either see me wrestling in the gym or Man United.
I didn't want
I
to
was a
talk
cheeky
about
plug
football,
of
but I'm going to talk about it anyway. I mean, what do you think with the goalkeeping situation? I just want to get your thoughts on that.
that. Well, put it politely, I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad Onana's done, to be honest. I couldn't stand it anymore, especially as a match going fan. I've got a season ticket, and I sit in the Stretford end. Well, I say sit, I stand in the Stretford end, and we're right behind Onana for 50% of the game. And by the end of last season, for his own sake, really, he needed to go because it if, it must be demoralising from what I mean. It's bad enough if you have to hear me shout, but having that all stand go, fucking hell, every time he had the ball, or come on, do something with it, get it out of your box, move the ball quicker. And I don't know if that's, well, I think it is. It's something that's come from the manager, especially last season. It was a case of moving it slower when he had the ball and letting people get into position to the shape of the formation. But my God, was it annoying? And my God, was he getting some stick from people for doing it? And in all honesty, I don't think he's been terrible on a whole. He just has. This is quite contradictory. He's not terrible. He just has calamities, and the high profile calamities on a whole. If he just conceded those goals without doing something stupid, you'd be like, he's pretty decent, to be fair. He's all right, but it's the way he concedes it that makes it worse. Because he has a really good save percentage, Onana, and faces a lot of shots. But the problem is the shots that he saves versus the shots he concedes. Because I've seen him save shots that he had no right to get near. Like one time in the derby, I can't remember who crossed it in, but I remember vividly Haaland at the back post running in, getting his head on it, and Onana's on the other side of the goal, but he saves it, and you go, "Has he just done that?" Not even that was like peak David De Gea style, and I was going, "Does that make sense?" And then 2 games later, he's conceded. I think it might have been 2 games later against like Galatasaray. He's throwing it in his own goal. It might have been Bayern Munich. But I remember that it was that season when he first joined. He was either throwing in his own goal or making spectacular saves. And I think that's the problem is that you don't just get a standard save. And I think for me the problem is you talk about him. So like this Sam Lemans lad who's come and I know nothing about him. I hope that we never speak of him. I hope in a few months' time, if you ask me back on your podcast and you ask me about Man United, this is not a conversation, and you never hear about him except for the times when you go, "Not fucking on. He's actually all right. He's got like a lot of clean sheets here, hasn't he?"
Mm.
It's the same issue I had with David De Gea at the end. Like he's one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen, but I will never forgive him. Well, I say that's a bit dramatic, but I struggle to have sympathy for him. That's probably the best way of putting it. After that FA Cup final against City, where we lost, he put up with. I wanted him to leave before that, and I'd been saying for a while that we needed a goalkeeper, like 2 seasons before. I think it was when Bruno joined United just before COVID. There was a game away at Everton, and I'd gone after to link it back to wrestling. I'd gone with my mates to watch it in a pub straight after training, and he got the ball passed back to him, and I can't remember who passed it back to him. I'm thinking it was Harry Maguire or it was Lindelof because that was the partnership at the time. And he went to clear it up the pitch, like to lump it forward, and he smashed it into the back of whoever Everton striker was at the time, and it went in. And we all just sat there and were like, "What are we watching?" And I was like, "He needs to go." And then we ended up sticking with him through the rest of Ollie's reign. And there was times where he did well, and then into Ten Hag's, it just steeply went downhill. And you then have people going, "We should have kept De Gea. We should have kept De Gea. We should never have got Onana. We should have just kept De Gea." The problem is the answer was never keeping De Gea. Onana just wasn't the answer to the question, and we've just had too long of talking about keepers now. For me, it's become an issue for me going with my mates, and we've said this that we should just never have to speak about the keeper. Like Edwin van der Sar, you never saw his name in the papers going, "Oh my God, what's Edwin van der Sar done this time?" He was just steady. And that's all I want is just a steady keeper.
No, exactly stuff like that. So, for you, realistically, as a fan, what would you consider a good season for Man U this year?
Right, well this is an interesting question because I had this conversation with Andy Cole, which
Ooh.
is a bit of a mad name drop. Bet all the wrestling fans have like proper turned this off now. After I'm mentioning Andy Cole, and so anyway, to get to the point, I went to a Q&A with Andy Cole, and someone asked him the same question, and he said, "Well, it's anything improving on last season. So where did we finish? We finished 15th." And I don't entirely agree with him, but this fellow was arguing with him, saying, "Well, shouldn't it be Europe? Shouldn't it be top four?" And I tend to agree with that, but and I said, "Well, if you want to go off progression, anything above 10th is progression. But for me, as a United fan, who's grown up watching us win the Premier League year on year and getting to Champions League finals. And I got to a point when you just have to accept that isn't going to happen now. That isn't where we are. We're a long way off that. Even with United's hierarchy promising like budget 150, which is the aim to win the Premier League by 2028, it will coincide with the 150th anniversary of United, which is a steep task, but could it be done? Potentially. Will it be done? Probably not. But here we are. As a United fan, I don't think finishing above 10th is good enough. I don't think finishing 8th is good enough. I don't think 7th is good enough. I think I can survive with 6th and up. But I'd be severely disappointed 7th and below. I get I've struggled with like this whole there's a big like culture within fans. I don't know how often you go to games with managers having a shit time of it. But you find that a lot of people want to support the manager, especially at United. We've always done it like growing up with obviously going from Fergie to Moyes. So I was 14 when Fergie retired, and we went on to David Moyes. For all that time, it was always a case of you back the manager, back the manager, back the manager. And I've really struggled with this one because of how bad it's been. So I was saying to my mate the other week, we were 4 points off top four when we sacked Ten Hag last season. Then we finished 15th, and we were like, God knows how far off top four. So it's and so knowing that he'd been in the job since November and we're coming up on a year, after that Grimsby game, my head went to Mars and I started doing some deep diving, searching, and I found out that his win percentage is less than David Moyes. And David Moyes I think he'd won how many more games? 5 or 6 more games than him in a similar percentage of time. And I want the managers to do well and I want to support him and I want him to get things right. And what's come out recently about all the Opta stats, I'm a bit of a nerd, as you're finding out here. A lot of United's progression is coming in. They're making the most chances. They're taking the most shots. They're quite solid defensively. The problem is we're not scoring goals. So if we can just get that bit right, you're going to see a team that's actually leading in more than just stats, but leading further up the table. But there's only so far that good performances can take you before you go, sitting out, what are you doing? Because that was me after that Grimsby game. My head fell off and I went, what are you, where do you even go from here? But I think Sunday, I was thinking then that we weren't live, but we are, so it's fine. So it is Sunday. It is this weekend. Is a really, really, really big chance for Ruben Amorim to put his stall out and go, we're having it. We've bollocksed the League Cup up, so we haven't got a chance of winning that. And we're not unless we pull off some Leicester-esque miracle. I say that like I haven't spent a load of money, but negate that point. Some Leicester-esque miracle of winning the title this season out of nowhere, like Chelsea did when they weren't in Europe. You've only got the FA Cup to play for, but if you can go to the Etihad on Sunday, you can put in a really good performance against City, and you can win. And that's the key point here: win, not just have a good performance. But I think it's more of a statement of intent if you go there and have a shit performance and win. But if we go there Sunday and we get turned inside out because City have had enough of losing because they've lost 2 out of 3, you're looking at a fucking discontented group of players and a group of fans, and that pressure's gonna fucking build quick.
100%. So we'll obviously go back to wrestling now. So the second part,
Sorry,
obviously.
yeah, I've went on a right tangent there. I'm sorry.
No, no, honestly, it's absolutely fine, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's why I don't like to interrupt like you speak and stuff. So the other fan question was from Pretty But Deadly, and it says, "What's the highlight of your career so far? Whether it's a match or something outside the ring?"
Um, well, obviously we went over it a bit earlier. Like wrestling Santino Marella was crazy cool. Wrestling Doug Williams was cool, but I think just being able to say I've done so much things is such a highlight for me, and being a part of some really cool moments. Like we told a really good story at Wrestle Island for a bit between me and RPD, um, where he was on an undefeated streak and I was champion, and we met in the middle. The old immovable force meets or whatever the saying is. Immovable force means the
Immovable
immovable
object.
object. Yeah, so we ended up meeting in the middle. Someone's always got to go, all that gimmick, and we had a press conference, and that was cool because like either foot does a press conference outside of your top promotions. I thought it was different. It was interesting. And then I lost the title to RPD, and I was on my arse, and I was like, I've got to find my way back to the title. And we kind of did Rock and Cena from 28 to 29, and I built my way back up, and I went into the Wrestle Island Rumble as number one, and all that. I'm sorry to get the point. Um, when I went to the end and I won, um, and then me and RPD met again, and I took the title back, and we accepted it for what it was, and I won. We shook hands, and I went to Malta on holiday. But no, I think that's a big highlight for me. Was is some of the stories that I've got to tell at Wrestle Island is a big highlight. When I initially won it, and then I've got like one of the longest reigns as Wrestle Island the title, and I've got one of the shortest. So when I won it the first time, it was meant to be from Warren Banks. I was meant to wrestle him, but he got injured. So then it ended up being me versus Joey Hayes for the vacant title. So I beat Joey, becoming the youngest champion. This was at the time where I'd been the bad guy for so long. We switched it on its head, and we did the old Austin and Brett, and I won the title, and everyone cheered, and it was like, oh, he's done it, finally done it. This lad who the Wrestle Island consider me one of their own because I've been there for so long, and everything like that. Even though actually when I we did the just before COVID, it was a just on a tangent. It was BWP Britannia Wrestling Promotions against Wrestle Island, and they had um like an away day kind of bus come with Wrestle Island fans, and they had their own away section. It was really cool actually. I got booed by the Wrestle Island fans, so I remember. Um, anyway, it was I won that, and then straight away, Hustle Malone came out and he cashed in his briefcase a bit like Cena Edge style. Uh, New Year's Revolution 2005, which is one of the first pay-per-views I ever watched live. I was ill from primary school, woke up in the middle of the night to be sick, and I ended up watching the Elimination Chamber. And then before Edge cashed in, I watched it with my brother. My brother went, right, well, it's done now, it's over. Sent me off to bed. I woke up the next day, looked at WWE.com, and Edge was champion. Human.
Well,
6-year-old Lance Revera, human going into school. Oh no, no, sorry, I didn't check WWE.com. There was a lad at school who told me he went Edge is champion because he really liked Edge. And he told me. No, I went, no, he's not. I went home and checked, and then I was fuming.
this is
But
brilliant.
yeah, and then fast forward a bit further on after losing it, the next show I had my rematch and we told a big story and we highlighted a lot of things about Wrestle Island and I took the title back and ushered in the Revera era of Wrestle Island.
Awesome, awesome. So a few little more questions, mate, as we begin to wind down and stuff like that. What's the biggest piece of advice you've got given it?
Um, uh, I think the biggest piece of advice I've ever been given for a lot of wrestlers, probably one that will annoy a lot of people, is I've got told over the years if you think you're going slow, you're not going slow enough. No. I won't explain that in too much detail. Won't ruin the magic for people, but people will get it. If you know, you know. Don't eat yellow snow. That was always a good one. My dad told me that. That's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given. To be fair, don't eat yellow snow.
Oh, don't piss in the wind.
That's a good one. Don't tug on Superman's cape. But how the fuck are you gonna tug on fucking Superman's cape? It's not real. No one's tugging on my cape.
Brilliant. I meant wrestling related, but we're just literally going off a tangent to Stan.
Well, don't eat yellow snow applies to wrestling because if it's snowing outside and you're like fucking hell, bit thirsty here, eat this snow. It's yellow. Don't scram that, mate. Fucking hell. Buy it.
Lance, we're nearly at the end of 2025, mate. What's the goal for you now?
What in 2026?
Yeah,
Or in the continuation of 25?
25 going into 26.
You'd be in the bollocks, innit? Like just keep on keeping up. Don't fucking slip. Like it's like Kobe Bryant said in that interview when, well, you're leading the series. You're not happy. Job done. Is it done? Don't think so. Job not done. It's fucking not, is it? Do you know what I mean? Job ain't done. It's not. It's not over till it's over," said Rocky.
There you go. 3 people you'd like to get in the ring with?
Whatever.
Yeah,
Or
ever.
realistically. All right.
Let's go realistically. You can have one like ever.
All right. Well, The Rock. That's pretty realistic. Let me think. Let me think. This is a bit of a. Go on, Tom Felwell. Smash his head in. Um, Bit of a mad one, to be fair. Critchy. Do you know Critchy? FTM.
It
Little
sounds
Scouse
familiar.
fella.
Yeah, sounds
Look,
familiar.
yeah, he talks like that, mate, and all that. Him. We've met before in rumbles and that, but having a good crack between each other. Could get on that. For them two, and then smash the Rock's head in. I won't actually, Rocky. We'll be sound. We'll go for a pint afterwards. I reckon I can get the Rock drinking a red stripe with me. I think that'd be pretty sound. I think
Yeah.
that's my goal for my ultimate wrestling goal. Not just 2026. So we're gonna say 26, but no, me and the Rock sitting with the WWE title, having a red stripe. That'd be sick. Me,
That'd,
the Rock, Triple H, all drinking red stripe. Just been like, yeah, this is sound. Or a Guinness, either or.
that'd be brilliant.
All three of us in Man United shirts. That's the goal. Even though Triple H says he loves West Ham, but I reckon I can change that. I
Yeah,
can fix him.
I'm sure you can. Lance, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate, to chat to you today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself today.
It's been all right. I feel like I've gone on some fucking mad tangents. I'm sure people have enjoyed it, especially when I started talking about XG and fucking passes completed and progressive passes.
Yeah, it's fine. No worries,
Do you know?
like I said.
Do you know what? If people want to hear more about that, just let me know because I mean, probably no one watching this one will want to hear more about it, but If you do, let me know. I've been debating putting me footballing opinions on TikTok. See if we can get amongst it with them.
I'd do it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think you get a great
Hey,
debate
I
with you.
was going to say I've been photographed on. This is something you didn't ask me about. That everybody else asks me about. Typically, there was a mad fucking 24 hours a few years ago when I went. When I went out to Spain to watch United play in the quarter final of the Europa League, and I got papped on telly after Sevilla scored, and I've got a face on me like a slapped ass. And it went a bit viral on Twitter, not just wrestling Twitter, but Twitter, like football Twitter. Football Twitter got its hands on it, and I got some fucking right pelters because. To be fair, I'll just say it because we've sworn and everything on here, and it's out there for the world to see. Some fucking fella from his mum's basement tweeted. It was me and these two lads I met on the day because I went out on my own and ended up sitting with him having a few pints and we went to the game and that. And this fella, it was one lad had on an older United shirt, another lad had the. Do you remember the neon green one that came
Hmm.
out? He had that one. And I had the blue and white striped '95, I think it was. The one where United won the league at Riverside. Um, I had that on and a little man bag. It was full of me medication and stuff like that. Because I'm a diabetic, just for people out there. Diabetes awareness, spot on, type one and that. um, but yeah, no, I was, and they just put, look at these absolute sex offenders.
What the
No,
fuck?
what the fuck, indeed? Because I was stood there watching this game. We've gone 2-0 down, and I'm like, fucking hell, shit. Like my face is, I'm stood there like this, and he just put, look at these sex offenders. I mean, that fella got some pelters in his replies, right? Because he was going, "What? What's wrong with this? Like, it's just three lads watching the football. Like, no one knows." And because I had people messaging me going like, "Have you seen this? Have you seen it?" My phone was going off at half time, and I'm like, I usually like I keep my phone and do not disturb. I'm one of them, and I was like, looked at my phone, and you know when you put it in do not disturb, it says do not disturb, and then
Hmm.
but it'll show you like notifications coming through, and it'll just have it in writing. It was just kept pinging. I was like, so I opened it, and it showed the notifications, and it was like. Um, a lad that I've not spoke to for 2 years, wrestling group chats, football group chats, me mates. Um, so my five-a-side group chat was going mad. Opened my video because it's on Snapchat. Five-a-side. Opened, you know how you've got the videos and it doesn't show you what anything is. Opened
Hmm.
it. One of the lads has just put in the chat, "Oh, look at this, Lance is famous on the telly." Filmed his telly, then got my mate Jack, who was my tag partner, Jack Sinclair. He sent me picture of me. Had a lad that I hadn't spoke to in years message me going, "Have you seen this on Twitter?" And I was going, "What the fuck is going on here?" So I've waited till full time, and I thought, do you know what? I'm fucking beating anyone to this because I've kept going on it during the game, and it ended up being 3-0. Um, so I thought, fuck this. I've had a few pints by this point, and I'm a bit gone. I thought, I'm getting to this before any other fucker gets this. So I've retweeted it and gone, it's the Playboy Prince to you. And I'll tell you what, it just went, oof, went off. Yeah, Prince Pele, Prince Pele, we wrestled each other at Future Shock. He took it upon himself to get a shirt printed with my face on it from that screenshot on BT Sport. And that's out there somewhere. It's knocking about. There's a picture of me on the telly with the score in the corner, on a t-shirt somewhere, and I don't have it.
Has he got
So
it?
I don't know where. I haven't got it. No, someone else took it, and I don't know where it is. Because I want it. Um, and then yeah, it just went off, and everyone was tweeting me. People giving him shit, people giving me shit. He then DM'd me asking me for a free t-shirt. That's a exclusive reveal. I don't reveal that one a lot, but the fella got cancelled on Twitter for saying some very suspect things. So I don't think he's going to be coming after me anytime soon over this one. He messaged me to calling me a sex offender and giving me all this shit, and I only because I took the ball by the horns and made it into my own thing and had a laugh about it. Was it fine? But so many people asking me if I was all right, and I thought it was well funny. I lived off it. I took the attention and ran with it. But not the point. He then goes, "Hey, yeah, lad, give us a free t-shirt." And I went, "Excuse me?" He went, "Give us a free t-shirt." So I went on his Instagram and he was raffling off. And potentially, I don't know, he's potentially raffling off Rolexes. Rolexes.
Mm.
And it's not for me to say whether they were real or not, but I would suspect they might have not been. Anyway, he then went, I said, "Go on then, give us your watch." Gives a watch for you for a t-shirt. And he went, 25 grand Rolex for a t-shirt. And I was like, yeah, go on. Little to say, never heard from him again. And then nearly a year on, he got cancelled on Twitter for saying some really, really horrible things.
And this is
Some
why I
out.
stay off. This is why I stay off Twitter because it's just so toxic.
I don't blame you, because the things that came out that he said was like pretty grim.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't surprise me one bit. Do you know what I mean? When something goes off, you can just know Twitter's just going to absolutely, be sick with it.
Yeah, and it was yeah, that day came and I was like, whoa, right. He wasn't just me. He didn't like. But off that grim topic, onto another one. My favourite reply to that tweet, and I've still got it saved on my phone for any time I need a laugh. Some man, don't know who he is. He has no association to me. The guy who tweeted it, to either of the clubs that were playing, to any club that was in the Champions League, not the Champions League, the Europa League that season. He literally, he didn't follow anyone, had nothing to do with it. So I don't even know where it came from. He just tweeted underneath with no emojis, no nothing, no fancy text. It was just your bog standard tweet, straight to the point, no fucking about. That lad on the right needs fucking shooting.
What?
Me? I was like, that fucking 50 Cent video he goes,
Yeah.
you say fuck me for? No, no context, nothing. That was it. No association to me. No one associated that I'd know. No associated to the man who tweeted. No associated to United, Sevilla, Spain. I, he wasn't. I don't even think he lived in England. I think he lived in Ireland from his bio. He just put that lad on the right. He's fucking shooting. All right, sound mate, no worries.
Cheers, pal. Appreciate that. Oh wow.
Nice one for the feedback, pal. Appreciate it.
Oh dear. Lance, before we head off, mate, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Yes, next Friday, Infamous Professional Wrestling live in Runcorn. You can find all the ticket details, all the times and everything at Infamous Wrestling on Instagram and Twitter. If you go to my Instagram and Twitter, Lance_Revera, you will be able to find all the links and everything there. So you will see me live and live in colour with my Infamous Heavyweight Championship right there in sunny Runcorn. So yeah, that's cool. And this Sunday, I'm not there, but I'll promote it. Wrestle Island is knocking about in Birkenhead. Unfortunately, I had to reschedule the show from 2 weeks ago to this week due to some technical issues, but they are back, they are up and running, and as always, just go and give them some support on that and show them a good time. The
Absolutely. What we'll
card has
do is,
changed a bit, but it's still there.
yeah, what we'll do is we'll put all links in the description of this video so people can jump from all that jargon and support you. How's that?
Nice one, that's spot on.
Absolutely. So I need one final thing from you, man. So everyone I interview gets to do the outro for this show. You can say what you want, you can promote anything you want, and I will end the stream. Lance, it's over to you, bro.
Okay, well, Everyone who's left, everyone who's made it this far and listened to my rambling, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been very candid, very open. I had a good time. Hope you've had a good time. I've had a good time, so you better have. So we're finishing it there, and it has been live here in living colour. The show stealer, crowd pleaser, main feature, number one, the Playboy Prince, professional wrestling, and the infamous heavyweight champion. Thank you very much.